So I just recorded a video and none of it saved. But anyways, in today's podcast, we're going to be talking about why young teenagers feel the need to become rich so fast at such a young age. Now, Gen Zs, we have social media everywhere. Imagine you're 17, 16, or under the age of 20. You're scrolling on TikTok and you see a 15-year-old kid who just made $200,000 last month, just made $100K this month, and I don't know, next week his next payout is $350,000. He's flexing his Rolex, flexing his money on the screen. That is one thing that makes us compare ourselves to those influencers on TikTok, and it is not healthy at all. I mean, we're only human. Some people, me personally, I don't really ever compare myself to other people, but comparing yourself, maybe you're doing well in life. Let's say you made $20,000 and you compared yourself to someone who just made $500,000 at 15. That's just not a good way of thinking. Social media completely ruins how we should be thinking financially for our future. Now, one of the reasons why young people, I feel like, want to become rich so fast at such a young age, because money does give you respect. It does give you liberty, and it does give you security. It doesn't take away your insecurities, though. Money doesn't take away all of your problems, it just makes them bigger. Those people on social media who are always flexing their highlights, that is one such important factor. They're not showing the struggle, how they got there, and what they actually have to go through. We're back with my mom's phone. So, when you search up luxury lifestyle of a young teenager, you are only gonna see you wake up in the morning, you make breakfast in your nice $5 million penthouse, you go downstairs into your Lamborghini, you go eat lunch, you go party, you come back home, you sleep. That is not at all how rich people live their lifestyles. I think 85% of their day is mostly phone calls. It really depends on the industry that they're in, right? Most of them are either doing phone calls, trading, they're in their business. It's not necessarily a 9 to 5, because at the end of the day, they still have their Lamborghini. They're probably in the back of their chauffeur's, Tesla, writing up an email for somebody, but they're still working. And that's just the difference. Your problems don't go away. It just gets bigger. And that's one thing us Gen Zs need to understand, that money doesn't take away everything. It doesn't take away all of your problems. Now, another thing is, when we're comparing ourselves to those people on social media, influencers, I know I'm using social media a lot, but that's just like the really main thing of why teenagers think the way that they do, because social media is a very big part of our lives. So, scrolling on TikTok is what people do not all day, but most people do before they go to bed. When they wake up, they pick up their phone and they start scrolling on TikTok. When they compare themselves, they're on their bed, let's say in the morning, scrolling, and they see this person just made $7 million, the usual, and you're sitting there on your bed and you're like, what am I doing? I need to get rich. Your mindset starts to change. The more you see those people online making that much money, you're naturally gonna start not comparing yourself. Because I don't want to exactly say everyone compares themselves, because I don't compare myself to people. I use that as motivation. He just made $7 million. So at some point I can do the same thing, and I use that to lift myself up rather than bring myself down. Now, another thing too is that they really show their highlights so much that sometimes some people think that when they fail and they go down, they're really gonna go down. But some people really, I mean teenagers, specifically young men, use money as to that is what their value is, and that is not a good healthy mindset at all, because at the end of the day, every failure, every situation or step where you don't go forward, rather you go backwards, will have such a big impact on you. You will go down and think, I am screwed, it is over, because he just made $7 million and I lost $500, maybe out of $1,000, and you just took 2 steps back. Those 2 steps can turn into 5 steps forward, and that is something that teenagers don't understand. Failure is such a it's okay to fail. It's okay to fail, and we get told that all the time. I mean, you can fail to a certain extent where it's healthy, and there's a certain extent where you fail and it becomes bad at some point. You know what I mean? There's also a quote that RBC Direct Investing says, influencers selling how to get rich fast, and teenagers are buying into those courses. There are a whole lot of courses out there that I see all of the time where young 21-year-olds are basically essentially providing you real estate course. They're providing you a course that will make you rich by the time you're 24. You're making 7 figures. That's just not true. Some of them are trying to help you, and some of them are generally just trying to take your money, and they'll just say, give me $2,500 and I'll give you the course, and it's just a 15-minute video of basic information that you could have found online. Some of that information is very valuable, but you can literally just go on YouTube and search that exact same thing up, and someone will tell you that information, whether it's from the same video, they're explaining the same thing, or you'll grab that information through different pieces of video and put it together. Do not buy these courses unless you are so sure that you will find success and it'll actually be a good investment. Find proof that other people, because people usually just go in blindly, text people that have actually had experience in the course, and then try the course yourself. And they'll provide you a refund, and they won't give you a refund. And that is another thing. The rich get richer and the poor get poor. We spoke about this in our circles. So we spoke about those, and now I'm bringing it back up in our podcast because that's such a true fact, that the rich do get richer and the poor do get poor, because the poor don't change their mindset, and the rich are constantly adapting. The rich are they know how the psychology works within the minds of us. They understand that Gen Zs now want to get rich by the age of 24 so that they can have more respect, girls flex their money on social media and be financially responsible and all that stuff. And they take advantage of that, and that's why they're selling those courses, and that's why they're getting richer. Now, it wouldn't even be worth it. The hole might fill up with water, and maybe it won't. And that's just something we have to understand as well, that sometimes you have to take that risk. And I understand that very, very well personally, but I'm not going to go too much into that. Another quote that I'm going to bring up: 66% of teens feel the need to hit a wealth milestone at a certain age. This is where I talk about manhood. Manhood is such a big factor in this, because we ourselves feel like we have to be financially responsible for, let's say you take a woman out on a date, you have to pay in full. You have to be able to financially take care of the woman you want to spend the rest of your life with. And that is just, I think like that too. That's just such a mindset that is so true that they put inside of our brains. You don't split the 50-50 bill. I wasn't taught that, but I think that we as men have to pay the full bill every single time. If you're taking out a girl, I never ever let a woman pay for the bill or split the 50-50. If we're going out for the movie, I'm paying for the movie. They're sitting across that table from me and we just ordered, 50 steaks. I am taking the responsibility of paying for the bill. And that's just not a good way of thinking, because at the end of the day, you're wasting money. It's your first date. Don't know if that's going to be your woman, and that's just not a good way of thinking. I really need to stop that. But that's just how some men think, because manhood really puts that pressure onto us that we really need to be financially responsible to take care of our people. At the end of the day, we are all imperfect. It's okay to, maybe one day you'll be a millionaire by the age of 35. Most people aren't millionaires until 50, but social media makes it so we are falling behind, and it really puts that fear into teenagers that I'm not going to make it. I'm going to grow up and I'm gonna be poor. And they want to have fun early. They want to make that money early so they can buy their Lamborghinis, Bugattis, Rolex watches, so that they can flex it all to their friends and, you know, be financially free forever. When that's just not how life works. Most people are not ever going to reach that 6-figure, 7-figure milestone. And that's just how life is sometimes, and it's okay. It's perfectly fine, because there are so many people that I personally know that don't make that much money and still have so much value to their life. They're still very successful, but there are so many other ways to be successful, and that is my time. That is very much my time. So thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed your time. I know the video cut out a couple of times, but I think that didn't cause too many problems, and I enjoyed my English class with you, Miss. I'm so glad you were my teacher. Thank you for everything. Thank you for the opportunity you've given me. Love, love, love. Good night.